Welcome, everyone. Hope y'all are having a good day. We'll go ahead and get started here in a few minutes, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We'll get started here in a few minutes. In the meantime, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to let me know in chat. Thanks for being here. Alright, everyone, we'll get ready to get started here. Thanks for being here, I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone, to today's live stream, episode 8 of our Starfield gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on a couple of quick admin notes. First of all, like I did over the weekend on the Baldur's Gate 3 live streams, I wanted to apologize to everyone. It's been a busy few weeks for me here with getting the house finished and the family emergency where I was out of town for a bit and all of that sort of stuff. And my uploads of the videos after the live stream has not been up to my standards. I haven't added in chapter markers on quite a few of them. I haven't updated the thumbnails and that sort of stuff. And like I say, I want to apologize for that. That is entirely my fault. And I've let down on the quality of what I'm producing for all of you, and I'm sorry about that. I've been spending some extra time working from the bottom and working my way up to the latest videos to get all of that stuff added in. Still have more work to do, but I am working my way through it. So if you can bear with me for a little bit longer, I'll get all that corrected, and then hopefully, now that the house is finished and everything seems to be fairly back to normal, we can keep up with it better, and you guys can get the quality back that you used to seeing from the videos afterwards. So thank you for sticking with me during that. I certainly do appreciate it. On another admin note, there was some news this week around Starfield. They released the sales numbers for the game in September, and it was the highest selling game of September, and that was a little surprising just because it was an Xbox exclusive and it was available on Xbox Game Pass, which is, for those people who aren't familiar, it's a subscription service where you pay a monthly fee and you get free access to all of the games that are listed on it. So you don't have to buy Starfield in particular. It comes as part of your subscription. So with it also being Xbox exclusive and not having any PlayStation access, you're basically cutting out all of the console purchases from your sales numbers, and it still ended up being the highest selling game in September. Now, there weren't a lot of blockbuster games that were released during September, but you can go check out the rankings and see how it did. But being one of those bookend titles for Bethesda, that we only get once every several years, it was good to see people coming out on PC and Steam and purchasing their copies. So I think that's it for the admin notes. So on a recap, as you know, we've been working our way through the UC Vanguard questline, and at the end of last live stream, we had been tasked with getting approvals from the Freestar Rangers and House of Varun to access the archives, which is the repository of all of the dangerous knowledge that was kind of locked away after the end of the colony wars between the Freestar Rangers and the UC. And as part of that, we had to convince the Freestar Rangers through some information gathering to give us their code to access the vault, and then we had to clear out a dangerous situation inside the House of Varun embassy to be able to get their code. And that's where we left off, so we're going to go ahead and jump right back in there at the Varun embassy where we left off and we'll continue on. The storyline is about to get very, very interesting. And that's why I like this, part of the reason why I like this questline so much. It really starts to take a turn here as we are getting ready to exit out of House Varun. Now, the last thing that you can do, remember, there's a safe back here with master locks. We don't have access to master locks yet through our lockpicking ability. We can unrank or unlock master rank locks here, and this is about as far as you really need to go through the security skill here. This allows you to unlock master level locks. The last one helps making unlocks easier by eliminating digipicks that don't work or are not used inside the puzzle, but you really, for the most part, don't need to do that. So master locks work the exact same way as the expert and advanced locks that we've been dealing with, and that you start from the inner ring and work your way out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here on the inner ring, and we have 2 of them together. So maybe that works. Nope, that one doesn't. So that means it's going to be a 3 and 2 situation, since we do not have a fourth or a single lock by itself. And then we need a lock with 2. So it's not that one. So then we would need 2 right together, and we don't have that either. So it's going to be something more like these. Okay, so that one works, and then something like this. Okay, so that takes care of the inner ring. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 on this next ring. So with 2 together, doesn't look like either of those work, so it's going to be 2 and 2. So if we work with this one first, then that would mean it would be 2 close together like this, and that works. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the only 4s that we have 2 together, and this one doesn't, so it's going to be again a 3 and 3 situation. Okay, so this one is not part of it. This one I don't think is either. It's not. So that one works, and then we would need something that looks like... It doesn't look like that one's going to work in that position, but it might work in this one. And then we would need something like this, probably. Okay, so that one doesn't work in that position. Doesn't look like it works in any position. So this one's a bit difficult here. Possibly this one. No, this is the one that we just looked at. So it's probably not this one to start with. So here, that works, and then we would need this one here. And now the last ring just has 4 here. So again, it's going to have to be 2 and 2. That one's already used. That one's already used. This one is not. So it's going to have to be there. And there. Okay, so like I say, it's not really necessary to go through all of the steps to eliminate the unused keys. It just takes you a little longer to go through the steps. So. And then you always have to, of course, remember which ones got you where. Okay, so that one's used. I might have used one accidentally here. This one will work here. And this one will work here, but this one is now different. I think I used one in here that I needed for another one. This one I don't think works in here. Nope. So yeah, I think I used one incorrectly here. I think I used it incorrectly on this one. Nope, it was... Yeah, that one was there. Well, yeah, I messed up one in my planning here, and honestly, I'm not going to waste your guys' time to go through it. So, that was my fault for messing it up and not paying too much attention. I was talking and lost the order of what I needed to do there, so that was my fault, and again, it's just going to be a waste of time for me to go through it, which... The way the loot system works here probably would have been fairly underwhelming loot anyway, because loot is not scaled based upon the difficulty of the lock that you're working with. Okay, so we're going to make our way back out here to the entrance. And we'll be able to head outside. Okay, now once I'm out here, I do want to check if I have access to my ship cargo or not. I don't know if I do. I don't. So, we are encumbered. But again, I'm not too worried about losing the health or anything like that. Let's go drop this stuff off, actually. Before we finish the quest. That way we don't have to worry about being encumbered anymore. So we'll just quickly head over here to the lodge and drop off all of these supplies. And that should drop our encumbrance down. Okay, so we're going to go to our inventory, go to resources, store all of them, and yes, that gets us down where we need to be. And again, I don't worry about using med packs and that sort of stuff. Remember, we need to keep utilizing med packs to increase our medicine skill here. So you have to use 50 med packs while you're wounded. So if you just sit there in a corner and spam them when you're not wounded, they don't count. But as long as you have any health lost and you use a med pack to repair it, then it ups that number.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop new aliens.
Do we have a lot of weapons on us? Not really.
Captain, I just received a couple messages from an operative in the embassy office. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe and Balmore. Was he alive? Did they both actually agree? That's incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed to pull all this off, but that'll have to wait for another time. Regardless, superlative work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Alright, so now we need to head to the archives and actually retrieve the information that we're interested in about the Terrormorphs.
Yes? You needed something?
And on our way out here, we're going to stop off real quick. Actually, no, we're here close enough to the archives. We're just heading here first. We'll do it afterwards before we head off planet again. And you can see here in the archives we have UC as well as Freestar Rangers guarding this place.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Okay, so you insert your codes into these receptacles here. 3-star rangers here. And then the completely unoccupied House Faroon here.
You may proceed, Captain.
And that's it. Now we need to take this data back so we can get it analyzed.
Keeping the skies safe out there?
There you are.
Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sanon and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea. Get them invested in the solution. Make it clear we've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure they'll be lovely house guests.
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Should even be able to house its own cadre of independent observers. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Okay, so we're going to get lined up with our citizenship here. And this is why I mentioned earlier in the ship training area of the game and the introductory areas down in the Hall of Records that you don't necessarily have to do any of those things that shorten your citizenship timeline. You're just doing them to get the enlistment bonus because your citizenship is going to be fast-tracked no matter what, just as part of the regular storyline progression.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
Becoming a citizen of the United Colonies doesn't prevent your citizenship in anywhere else, so there's no reason not to do it.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terrormorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Do I have it? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Okay, so we picked up another 10,000-ish credits, a big chunk of XP, and we also did pick up a new activity here. Speak to Zora at the Aphelion Realty office, and we'll explore that a little bit more, but that is basically your ticket to a free house. And it's located here in the city of Jemison here, and it's easy to get to. It's centrally located, and it is one of the prettiest housing locations here in the game. So you do have a lot of options for housing here. This one is just given to you free, and like I say, it's one of the best ones in the game. We're going to spend a little bit of time going through the furnishing mechanic and how all of that works, because it's much different than Skyrim was when it comes to that. But we'll spend some time going through all of that after this questline is finished. So here we are down in this subsection 7. If you've brought a companion along with you, they will have to wait here for you.
Logging authorized entry. Unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor.
So they will be removed from your party, and they'll be standing here for you to pick them up again when you leave. But they will not be able to come with you in here.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? Not quite. I'm Francois Sanon. But most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes. But the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here. A sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies.
Okay, we already know what he's done. We learned it from the orientation introduction at the start of the quest.
To warrant my execution. The official charges I faced after the war were twofold. The first was the destruction of civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne, a battle during which those civilian ships were actively attacking my fleet. The other was ordering the bombing of the Londinion spaceport to halt the spread of the Terrormorph outbreak there. The city and its citizens were lost, but countless others likely saved. And for doing what was right, I was put on trial. And my life irrevocably changed. One final act of leadership that lost the colony war. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier. Very astute. That's my daughter. My progeny. You've been working alongside. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the colony war. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with. Well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally, and I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right.
Okay, so things have gotten a little disturbing here with the fact that he's still alive.
There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlase. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps down the line, you might become a part of our team. And this might be something of a tryout. Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end at long last. Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing me for a simple cutthroat. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it. that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local Vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Okay, so it's a little bit odd here that the UC has been keeping him alive all of this time, when according to our introduction to him, the Freestar Collective demanded his death as part of the treaty to end the war. So this is a little bit odd, but he's going to be able to give us some valuable information, so we'll kind of see how it plays out here at first, and then we can start making a decision on how we want to play it as we get more into it. So we are going to go back up and talk to McIntyre real quick first.
You're in the Vanguard, right?
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy. Captain, please, keep your voice down. The situation with the prisoner is a complex one. A holdover from a different era. But it's a situation we've been managing as discreetly and humanely as we can for some time now. And the most critical part of that management is making sure no one else learns of it. Do I make myself clear? No, they really shouldn't. And bringing up what you've learned outside this building will make you, Captain, look like a crazy person. I don't want that, and you certainly don't want that. So you need to keep this to yourself. Now, was there something in particular you wanted to discuss about your meeting? Dr. Reginald Orlase? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlase is completely out of the question, but bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return? Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting? The Den? It's a star station. Orbiting Wolf, the second star station actually to bear that title. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC military vessels. But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been a little more lax. Patrols included. I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out.
Okay, so now we're going to head out, and before actually we head out, well, no, we're going to the Den, so we'll be able to take care of selling items when we get there anyway. So it wants us to head here. We've been here before. Okay. Oh, I accidentally pressed F instead of E there. I was wondering why I didn't have the option to dock.
And we're docked.
Keep it moving.
Looking to lodge a complaint? Then you want UC security, not the Vanguard.
Oh, apologies, Captain. Didn't recognize you without the uniform.
So, what can I do for you? Orlase. Doesn't ring a bell. Anything you can tell me about him? A man? Living around Etheria. The gas giant. Only one ship like that I know of. Never docks. Doesn't respond to hails. They call it the Warlock.
Maybe this Orlase of yours is the one piloting it. I can give you the coordinates to its last sighted location if you want. Just, well, you'll need to be careful. That part of Etheria's sky is an old debris field. Plenty dangerous. More than a few scrappers heading out never came back.
Well, the original Den Star Station was destroyed decades ago during the Serpent's Crusade by marauding House Varun zealots. Big part of the remains from those battles ended up gathering around Etheria, forming a nasty debris field. Every now and then, some headstrong scrapper comes limping back because they hit an 80-year-old mine. Or sometimes they don't come back at all. Sure thing.
Here, this should get you pointed in the right direction. Go get your man.
Okay, so up there at the top, you see it mentions ship electromagnetic weapons. Okay, and that is the key to being able to disable
may the trade authority assist
the Warlock and board it, as opposed to destroying it outright. So we're lucky in the fact that the Star Eagle has electromagnetic weapons already on it. However, if you don't have a ship that has those, then you may want to look at equipping them if you want to take the course of disabling the ship. If you want to destroy it, it doesn't really matter what your weapon types are. But if you want to possibly board it, then you definitely want to pick up some electromagnetic weapons. Okay, so we're just selling off some items here. Okay, and some of this stuff we're gonna keep around with us, and we are definitely going to sell off the contraband here. And now we can head over here to the Etheria ruins. Okay, and I'm gonna slow down as we go here. There's a reason for that, in that you can see the Warlock is about 7,000 meters out from us. I definitely want to up my engine speed here. But as we go, you can see that there are some destroyed ships through here as well. And we don't really know what has destroyed them, except the fact that we see these we have these mines here. Okay, so I wonder why my key bindings for my ship combat got messed up. Okay, we'll unsort those here in a little bit. For now, the Warlock is coming to us, which is what we want. We don't want to have this fight in here because of all these mines that are everywhere. So we're going to let the Warlock come to us.
You return to the endless void.
Okay, now I do have a target lock, so I can target the engines directly. Okay, if you didn't have the targeting ability, whoops. Okay, well that was because I didn't rebind my weapons. Okay, well I really didn't want to do that. And that was again because I didn't rebind my weapons. I hit what I thought was going to be, or what I'm used to having as the electromagnetic weapons, but it was in fact my missiles. So, two ways to do that type of encounter. First, you have the ship's scanner, which if you have targeting, you can target specific subsystems, but your weapons are still going to damage other portions of the ship in addition to that specific subsystem. So once you get down to a certain level, that might not work anymore, and you need to switch to electromagnetic weapons to disable it. And that's what I did. I saw that the hull was getting low, and I wasn't going to be able to take out the weapons or the engines by themselves, so I swapped back out to normal view, was going to shoot him once with the electromagnetic weapons, but instead shot my missiles and killed it. Another part of the reason that you don't want to destroy the ship and that you want to board it is because of an item that you can find inside the ship. When you board it, you are not going to be able to take Orlase alive. That's not going to happen. He's going to, even if you manage to get up to the door to the bridge in time, he's going to commit suicide. So you're not going to be able to bring him in alive. However, once you get there, you're able to search his body, you're going to have access to something called Orlase's lab coat. And his lab coat has a specific effect, and that effect is that it has a chance to craft weapon mods without using resources. So it's one of those specific items that you wear only when you're trying to do something in particular. So if you ever, when we get to the point where we're going to be crafting weapon parts and that, or weapon mods and that sort of stuff, that coat can come in really handy just to put it on and then craft your weapon mods. And there's a possibility that you won't use any resources. So again, I don't want to change my settings here because when I was looking at these are right. The problem isn't here. these bindings are correct. The problem is not here. The problem is with the ship itself. And to do that, I need to change the weapon setup of the ship. And I'll do that when I land, because I don't believe I'm able to do it here. But we did pick up his ID tag, which we're going to go to New Atlantis and land, and we'll continue the quest. But while I'm here...
You should inspect your ship for heat. Anything I can help you with? Okay, no problem.
Okay, now yes, here they are. So this is where you change which weapons are Weapon 0, Weapon 1, and Weapon 2. So here I want the pulse laser to be Weapon 1, or Weapon 0. Weapon 1 I want to be the suppressor, which is my electromagnetic weapon, and then the Weapon 2 is going to be my missile launcher. So when I picked it up, I didn't set these things, and that's why I ran into the difficulty I did. So on this ship, instead of having pulse lasers first, like it was on the Razor Leaf, and then ballistics second, which this ship doesn't have any ballistics, but it has the suppressor second, or it has it first. So it kind of messed up the order that I was used to. And then I normally have a different mouse button entirely from the left and right mouse buttons to initiate my missile launchers, but it was set, because of where it was set to Weapon 1, which is my right mouse key. So that's why those things happen. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss out on Orlase's lab coat, which just means that as I'm going through this, I'm going to have to I'm not going to get the benefit of possibly getting free weapon mods because of it. So, but if I were you, I wouldn't miss out on that. I would definitely disable that ship, board it, and get the lab coat. It's a valuable item to have. And then you just keep it in your house or wherever you want to do the majority of your crafting for weapon mods, and you can just quickly put it on when you go to do those things. That's a shame. I hate doing that. I really wanted to show that to all of you. But again, I don't save scum in my live streams. Whatever happens is whatever happens. So I'm going to live with the mistake.
Welcome back, Captain. Do you have some news for me regarding Dr. Orlase?
It's kind of strange. It looks like the first line of dialogue in all of these encounters is not synced. So the game was not updated, so not entirely sure what it is.
Happily. But first, I believe you owe me something. Your evidence. Excellent. Please, deposit it in the transfer system.
Transfer accepted.
Would you look at that? Kept it all these years. Some simply couldn't let go of that old world. This is fine work, Captain. I can ensure the remaining team members find their way to the Red Devil's headquarters. Except for one. That one you'll need to collect yourself. His name is Kaiser. You can find him on the Freestar world of Nira, wandering the battlefield there. The area was ground zero for xeno weapon deployments during the war, so I would arm yourself appropriately. And I think you'll want to check in with Hadrian and Dr. Walker before paying it a visit. Kaiser will likely have security protocols you'll need their help to overcome. A military Model A, yes. Specifically customized for the needs of the xeno warfare team during the Colony War. A powerful resource, if you can recover him. You're saving the galaxy, Captain. What tool wouldn't you use to protect it?
Okay, so now we need to head back and to the Sol system. And we're going to go to Mars, and here under Cydonia we now have the Red Devil's headquarters option that we can land at. And as we'll see, things have changed quite a bit here. Okay, so now what was formerly dirty and vacant and only had one scientist roaming around it is now brought back to functioning order again.
Captain, welcome back. I was afraid you might have gotten reassigned. You've been gone so long. So how's it feel to be a citizen? It should. You risked life and limb to earn it. But it is real good to have you here again. We've been going through the Terrormorph data and, well, we're gonna need all the help we can get. These logs, they're even more thorough than I remembered. Genetic workups, population statistics, hell, even their food chain. I'd completely forgotten, for example, that there was a creature that actually ate Terrormorphs. At this point, the data's given us more options to explore than we have people to work on them. That'd be something, wouldn't... I'm sorry, are you? You're serious? You found our research team? That's incredible. That accelerates everything. With them back, it'll let us... Wait. Kaiser. Did you find Kaiser? That's right. You would need that. Whoever gave you these leads sure knew their stuff. Well, how? How exactly did you manage to find them?
So you have a couple of different options here on how to play the remainder of this questline. Hadrian is vehemently opposed to her genetic father. And letting her know now is certainly an option, and it will change a few things as to how this quest plays out. You can choose to keep it a secret from her right now, and that's what I did in my personal playthrough. I only revealed it to her later on.
Hello?
But here
Anything?
I'm going to play things a little different on live stream, so I'm going to go a different way with this, and we'll kind of see what happens because I haven't played it this way.
That's not funny. Seriously, how'd you find them?
Okay, so it gives you another option to avoid it.
No. That's insane. He died. They executed him. They faked his death? My entire unit, they threw us all to the wolves, but kept him? And now he's what? An advisor? Commanding the fleet in secret? What was so important that they had to keep him alive? Well, they certainly picked an expert, didn't they? I guess it makes sense, though, doesn't it? The UC of that era only created me because they were afraid of a world without Victus in command. Why would they get rid of him? As long as I live, I'll never understand the loyalty that old bastard elicited. You've got nothing to apologize for. Because the UC, they did a lot of terrible things for that man. But even knowing they did, knowing that they kept him alive all this time, you know what I feel right now? It's hope. I had no one when I was outside the UC. No Red Devils, no family. But that old world, where I was no one and my father mattered, that's gone. Thanks to what you and I have done, I have a place again. A purpose. But it's finally one I can be proud of. You and I, we're getting to change what the UC stands for. So I don't care if Victus is alive or dead. He can rot for all I care. We're the ones who are making the settled systems and the UC better. Precisely. Because there's nothing we can do about past choices. What we can do is try and make the right ones now. So, let's get back to the business at hand. Now, my father just handing over the information on the research team and Kaiser out of the clear blue, I can't say I trust it. But, if he has something to gain from helping us prevent Terrormorph attacks, I'm not seeing it. So while you'll absolutely want to be cautious, what would you think about trying to bring back Kaiser? I think it's the right call. But if Kaiser has been out wandering on his own for all this time, you're gonna need a couple things.
Okay, so she took that better than expected. You can see she's done with Francois Sanon. She wants nothing to do with him because of what happened at the end of the Colony War.
I know it's here somewhere. Here, Kaiser schematics. Actuators, weapons, batteries. That old robot's been MIA for a while, so chances are he's gonna need some repairs. He's also got a lock on his voice controls. You can give yourself authorization with the phrase, Nos belli machinis. Now, where exactly is the old machine? A battlefield. On Nira? Ugh, sheesh. No wonder no one's found him. That sector of Nira was destination #1 for xenoweapons during the war. Add to that general environmental devastation, and the kind of lawlessness that comes with any Freestar world, and that planet's got more than enough ways to make a visit your last. But I think there's a place where you can start your search. Yep. One-of-a-kind salvage. Licensed to an Angelo Alonso. Goes by Gel. As good a place to start as any. And I'll make sure we're ready to put them to use as soon as you've got them.
So, Nos belli machinis, interesting reference, loosely translates into we are war machines. Could possibly be a Warhammer 40k reference there, but just one of the many possible Easter eggs thrown in here. So we did pick up a schematic catalog here, and it lists the power system schematics, and we need to remember Nos Belli Machinis for later on. Yeah, it just kind of gives you some schematics and inner workings and that sort of stuff for when we encounter him. And speaking of encountering him, we can head off to the Narian system, and here at Nira, we have one-of-a-kind salvage.
Landing site is clear. Let's head down.
Okay, we're just going to get up for now because we want to make sure our inventory is cleared out as much as it can be here before we leave. So we can put the spacesuit away. The suit can look through again. We're going to put away anything above 3 and any Okay, we're going to keep the trauma packs even though they have mass to them. The med packs are the only ones that don't have any mass. The trauma packs, and we don't have any emergency kits. Those have mass to them, so you need to pay more attention when you're collecting those, because they can weigh you down the more of them that you pick up, so...
It's good to be out and about. Lives get stuffy sometimes.
Yes?
Okay, let's go, NPCs.
Something you need?
Okay, so you don't have to worry about anything down here. The turrets aren't going to attack you or anything like that. No one down here. You can see everything is green. Nothing down here is hostile. That is them attacking heat leeches and that sort of stuff. It's not them attacking you. Can't remember if we can get in this way or not. We can't. Okay, so it's directing us over here to...
Sorry, trying to wrap this up.
Gel here.
New model on the floor. Welcome to the one-of-a-kind. Refuge and rest home for the hardest scrappers anywhere. Name's Jill. Proprietor. Not here to make your fortune out in the fields then, huh? Suit yourself. But there's no bot named Kaiser around. Oh, unless you mean Captain Ahab? At least, that's what we've all been calling him. No clue what his actual designation is, since he's got some sort of security protocol that prevents inquiries and general chit-chat. But he's a combat bot, right? Yeah, that machine's been out there a while now, hunting this one Siren. His white whale. But it's been a while since anyone's laid eyes on Captain Ahab, though. Maybe he finally got the thing. Or it got him. That's where I recognize that insignia. Red Devils. Yeah, Ahab's definitely your bot. So, sounds like you've got two options. You can wander around out there, hunting your bot, little old white whale of your very own. Maybe you find him, maybe you get yourself killed. But knowing this rock is part of what we do here. So if you want to find him a whole lot faster, I'll sell you what I know about this. Kaiser's location. Going rate's a little steep, but I'm willing to negotiate.
So, as usual, somebody out here is probably going to be trying to shake you down for a little bit.
I'm listening.
So, this is a 6 option here.
I hear you. I haven't agreed to anything yet. You know what? I like you. Maybe we can work something out.
Okay, and even though we had only one turn left, you can't ever fail your last attempt.
I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here.
So this comes down to this. Now we do have an auto persuade, so we could try and make this work no matter what, but it is a green choice, so I think we're going to try it and see what happens. If not, it's just 1,000 credits.
Maybe we can work something out. Okay. You made your point. I'll give you a discount.
Okay, so it drops 325 credits off the price.
Pleasure doing business with you. So, last anyone heard of him, he was out near the Syracuse, shipwreck about a quarter click down the main strip. One of my roughnecks said he heard some kind of beacon. Just keep your ears open. You should find your machine. Eyes open too. Sirens and Ecliptic out there, and neither takes prisoners. Oh, and corpse retrieval is not included in this transaction, so now you know. Give Ahab a Kaiser our best.
Okay, so you can talk to Gel here, and he's got some items for sale.
No better selection on the planet.
Okay, and if you look through some of these, you can see that there's a microcell here. Now remember, in the list of the schematics that we were given, it listed a microcell as something that was part of Kaiser's schematics, part of his construction. It's going to save you some time if you pick up the microcell here and now. It's 10,000 credits, but if you pick it up now, you're going to need it later. So instead of coming back here, you can just pick it up now and save yourself the time, save yourself the trouble. So now we're going to make our way back outside. And remember what he said. He gave us a warning that there are Ecliptic and what he calls Sirens that are out here and wants us to be careful. So the first thing to do, and I'm going to take a look and see what I have for weapons here, is to come out here and just take a quick look around. and kind of get a lay of the land, so to speak. As to what's out and about. You can see that there are some military robots out here. Some old wrecks out here. It is obviously an old battlefield, like they said. And we're heading out there to what looks like a downed starship. Okay, so again, you can jump down here if you'd like, using your boost pack. Or you can just make your way down here. And now we get our first indication of something else walking around out here. And those are the Sirens. You're going to get through various different things here, and you can see the different locations that you can explore here on your quote-unquote mini-map, or you can open up your scanner and you can see various locations that, again, you can go explore. But these different locations are all going to have something going on at them. Whether they are ecliptic mercenaries, like he mentioned, or whether there are roaming wildlife at those locations. It's just going to depend upon which location it is. So again, if you're being seen right now, I believe, by these turrets, not being seen by anything else. Okay, so the first place that I want to go is kind of make my way up there. And this is, again, just going to give me an opportunity to take the high ground a little bit. And take a more overall view of what's out here before I start moving around. Okay, so you can head straight over to your quest marker if you'd like. What I'm going to do is go over here and explore some of these other areas. But I want to be careful when I'm walking around. Because over here on this side, I am out of range of the turrets. And you will need to be careful about these pools of liquid on the ground. They are corrosive to your suit, and you can take damage by standing in them. And again, like I said, you just want to be careful about and again, see these pools of liquid? You don't want to go standing in these. Okay, but there is a mech husk down here. And you can see I stepped in the liquid by accident. And this has some crafty materials in it. Then you can see we have another unknown over there and another one up here. Okay, we're going to make our way over here toward this area. Actually, we're not. We're going to go this way first. And we're going to take a pause up here real quick. And you see there, you can see they're level 30s. And it looks like they're in a fight with the Ecliptics over there. So we will certainly let that continue on. If they can take out any of the Sirens, you know, more power to them. There's a heat leech there. I don't necessarily want to go loud here. Okay. I thought I saw some movement right there. Yep, I did. So this Siren isn't too bad. Like the Ecliptic are still fighting. Well, let's move around and focus on this one, which appears to be in our way. Yeah, the Ecliptic are still over there fighting. And here's this one. So it looks like he's only going to come, or they're only going to come down to there before turning around, so... Okay, so there's another Siren over there. Don't think I'll be able to hit it anymore. It looks like there's two of them over there. Okay, and now we can hit this one. And you can see they're pretty tanky. And they can do quite a bit of damage if you let them get into melee range. Okay, so again, we have more of this radioactive liquid down here. Nothing on our scanner so far, which is good. See? Pretty tanky. And there are two more over there, but we're going to let them go for now. Looks like the Ecliptic are still in a fight over there. Okay, so here's a level 30, and it's on us. So we're going to go loud here. Okay, and now you can hear the beacon. So there are two more sirens here. Got one, the other one's gonna go hide. And looks like they're doing wonders on the Ecliptic over there. We're going to let them continue to get cleared out. And here's Kaiser. Okay, so we needed to have the password here.
Voice. Controls. Unlocked. Attempting to resume. Attempting to. Error. Power. Level. Insufficient. Battery required. Type. Microcell. Inquire at. Salvage yard.
And this is what I meant, is that if you bring one along...
Accepted. Operational power levels restored. Analyzing. Residual damage detected. Impact shielding. Visual systems. Damage within acceptable limits. Thank you for your aid. I must resume my mission. Please step aside.
manages within acceptable thresholds. I have done more with less. Although previous attempts to disarm the weapon have been unsuccessful. Additional support may allow me to complete my active mission more quickly, allowing me to leave this place. Excellent. We must disarm Unit XW-99. Designation Siren. Nearest final xeno weapon. Are you ready to proceed to the mission site? Follow me.
Okay, so he knows where this bioweapon is.
Mind your step. As you have no doubt witnessed, this region can be hazardous to organics. Threat detected.
But now you have some help.
Contact found.
And that's why you bring a battery for Kaiser. Is so that he can be used to help you deal with the rest of these that are out here. Now, what this also means is that things are going to get a little loud, because Kaiser is not subtle, and he's not following you. You're following him, so he doesn't care about stealth or anything like that. So you're going in with a straight up fight. So if you prefer instead to help clear out some things stealthily before you recruit him, then you certainly can. Because you are going over there to that location.
I am detecting Unit 99, but there is a complication. Unit 99 is on the other side of that reach, but it appears to be under the control of hostile forces. Sensors suggest Ecliptic. A mercenary company like Ecliptic would only want Unit 99 to utilize it as a weapon. This means Unit 99 must be disarmed immediately. Standard procedure would be a frontal assault on the outpost. No quarter given. Do you concur?
Okay, so here's where you have an opportunity to go try and clear out some of Ecliptic by yourself.
Very well. I will wait for your return.
Okay. So here now, you can make your way over here. And again, you want to take the high ground. Now what's going to happen here is as soon as you engage the Ecliptic, they are going to release the weapon. So right now you can see that there are Ecliptic mercenaries down here. Okay, looks like we've got at least 3 of them. There's actually more than that. And The Siren is here in the cage. You can see it right here. Okay. Now, as soon as we engage here, the Ecliptic, the Siren's going to get released. And it's going to start going after the Ecliptic that are here. Okay, so see, it now gets released. And you don't want to anger it yet. Okay, so it's moving away, which is good. That's exactly what we want. Now it looks like it's coming back toward us, so we want to go back here and pick up Kaiser again. Because now we're already loud. And here comes Kaiser. Kaiser can be a very, very useful distraction in this fight. But he's not going to last forever.
You may yield whenever you like. Hostile. Scanning.
Okay, looks like he's got an incendiary weapon. Didn't even pay attention to Unit 99 sneaking up behind me.
Where has it gone? Illumination in progress. Our work here is finished. Now, what is this mission that requires my expertise? A plague of Terrormorph attacks. That is disconcerting. You are docked at one of a kind. I will meet you there.
Okay, so now we've recruited Kaiser. We can go in here and we can search all of the Ecliptic mercenaries. and their base in general, because in here... up top. Find some credits. And you have an ammo crate here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like it's going to be 2 and 2. There. And there. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be 3 and 2. And the other 2 here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be 3, 1, and 1. Or it could be this one. It is. So here and here. Here and here. Here and here. All that just to pick up some ammo. You have a weapons crate here. It's only advanced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle. So it's going to have to be 3 and 2. And it's going to have to be that one. And that one. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the outside. So not that one. So that one and that one. And here's your military crate that has your special high-end. In this case, I think it was armor or a pack. So, yep, or a helmet. So doesn't look like it does have Beast Hunter, which would help us here while we're at, but nothing else very special about it. Okay, so we do have another searchable area over there. And again, these searchable areas mainly have a crate of some sort in them, or some sort of searchable object. Just like here, we have another mech husk with the trick shot in it. So the trick shot's a rare pistol that's actually fairly interesting. So it's a rare pistol. It uses the 43 MI. So the difference here is that it's got skip shot. So every fourth shot fires two projectiles at once. So it gives you basically double damage on every fourth shot, which is, if you look at the pistol choice that I have compared to the Urban Eagle, the fire rate is 25, the trick shot's 34. So this is a better specific pistol than what I'm using, so I might as well change that over. Oh, I'm using the regulator, but it's still only 53 damage. And looks like there's another Siren over here. somewhere. I think this is one of the patrolling ones. Yes, that's over here on this side. There's a 30 that has several levels of armor plate on it. So if you're going to take that on, then you want to get yourself into a position where it can't reach you. One of the easiest positions to do that is to try and get yourself up on top of one of the mechs. And there are a couple of different places that you can mantle up here to get on top of a mech, and then you're able to take them out without the danger of getting meleeed to death. They are going to be a little annoying in how they move around and that sort of stuff, but they eventually come back into view. Trust me, saving yourself the melee damage here is pretty important, because once you get into combat with these and you actually get hit by a melee attack, it can seriously mess you up. The level 19s, not so much. The level 30s, however, can really do some damage. And if it takes off running, we'll let it. Because again, it's just one of the level 19s, so I'm not too worried about it. And I forgot about the mines out here. Okay, and that was our last area to go look at. There are a lot of different little hidden chests and that sort of stuff to explore out here. I'm just not going to waste your time going through it all. Okay, so we don't have to make our way all the way back up there. We can now head back to the Red Devil headquarters on Sol. Or on Mars in the Sol system. Okay, so I can't be overloaded by that much. Yeah, I'm not, so... But I get rid of some frag mines here. And I don't need a regular drum beat either, and that's good. Again, normally I just walk back to my ship, but because I am live streaming, I don't want to subject you guys just to me walking around over there when I'm just sacrificing 1,000 credits or something like that.
We have arrived. I will meet you inside the facility.
I can't believe it.
Major Sanon, Dr. Walker.
You're in better shape than I expected, Kaiser. Shouldn't take us long to get you back up to full fighting capacity.
This is good to hear. I was told there was a new threat on the horizon. I wish to learn more.
Percival will give you the full story.
Plus, get you dressed for the occasion.
Occasion? Where are we going?
Londinion.
Londinion. Doctor, I will require additional armaments.
That's the plan. Come on.
Captain, you're with me. Time to walk you through what we came up with. So the problem we're up against is vast. Terrormorphs, they can be anywhere. Meaning us finding and disposing of them ourselves isn't an option. But what if we could let something else do the work for us? Come on, I'll walk you through what we're thinking. You remember that creature we talked about before you went to Nira? The thing that eats terrormorphs, the Asyles? Apparently, they were bloodhounds for terrormorphs. But when the UC ran low on synthetic foods during the Colony War, the Asyles were chosen to fill in the gaps. We thought they were harvested to extinction. But in the data, the research team found the location of a few remaining specimens. As you can see, what we're proposing is bringing them back. We'd breed populations of them, distribute them to human worlds, and then let nature take its course, using a method that thousands of years of adaptation have already perfected. We could speed up their breeding process using some of the same technologies that were used to create me. We even think that with some time and investigation, we could use the Asyles' hunting skills to track down the Terrormorph transmission method at long last. Find out how humanity spread them and put an end to the Terrormorph problem definitively. All our data suggests so. Asyles, they're impressive hunters. The few tests we've been able to run, well, they more than got the job done. They're also shockingly adaptable. The data suggests they're able to thrive just about anywhere, and we plan to selectively breed them so they can hunt terrormorphs wherever they're hiding. Which is important, because we did some cross-referencing in the terrormorph data. On worlds where Asyles were present, terrormorphs weren't. This suggests that however it is terrormorphs are getting onto our worlds, Asyles are somehow cleaning that up as well. These creatures are good at what they do. If you pick a fight with one, or you're a terrormorph, sure. But Asyles were already spread across the galaxy once before during the Colony War. As livestock, they're far less of a danger than the one we're proposing to clean up. I really think it could. Now, there is another option for removing the terrormorphs from our worlds. It's faster, maybe even more efficient, but riskier. A microbe. Something we could aerosolize, let spread, and have it clean up anything with terrormorph DNA for us, which would include morphs, and we expect their transmission method. It'd still take time to build, test, and distribute, but no other method could hold a candle to it when it comes to sheer efficiency. Not even the Asylees. Well, that's still not 100%. But it sounds like the Vanguard will actually be picking up a fair bit of it. But there's no sense in hammering down those sorts of details before we've made a decision on which route we're taking.
Hey, CK. My build is a little bit fluid right now, because it's such an early portion of the game. But for the most part, it's going to be a stealth sniper type of build as I progress farther through my level ups. But for right now, I'm not really focused on a whole lot of that. I'm focusing on leveling up enough and completing the main faction quests and that sort of stuff to get me enough levels where I can open up the weapons that are really going to make that type of build more viable. Because right now, the weapons don't really contribute to that a whole lot.
So Percival assures me that they're minimal. He'll be able to encode safeguards against mutation in the agent's genetics, so that they stick to the task of cleaning up Terrormorphs. But the microscopic world has a tendency to behave in ways you can't always predict. So to say there's zero risk would be a lie. Well, so that's tricky. Both plans are going to take major investments in time and resources. We're talking years of work, not to mention some highly specialized materials. Terrormorph cell lines we can breed quickly and consistently to test on. Asylees gene samples we can use to rebuild their bloodlines. Or sharpen our microbes tracking skills. Not the sort of things any labs just got lying around. But we think we found a lead. One place in the known galaxy where we know we should be able to find all the materials we need. All paths lead to Londinion.
That's right, CK. It was such an overpowered thing in Skyrim. I didn't play Fallout, but I assume it was just as powerful there, just with guns. So it is a Bethesda game after all. So yes, long-range sniping can be very OP. Just not right at the level I'm at. It's really too early on for it.
It was the central hub for Asylees processing during the Colony War. But, and this part's exciting, the Terrormorph data suggests Asylees were first found there. The planet it's on, Toliman 2, was their homeworld. Meaning, there's a very good chance their prey, the Terrormorphs, came from that same world. Which would also explain why no one ever suspected that planet as the Terrormorph Source world. The Asylees were too damn effective at cleaning them up. Additionally, it explains why once the Asylees were gone, the outbreak there was so catastrophic. Londinion could very well be where the Terrormorph saga began. And the key to its end. It's certainly not encouraged, but the UC's given their sign-off for this excursion. This trip is all above board.
Hey David, thanks for being here. Yeah, that's how I play. It's not exactly the most exciting type of hack and slash or guns blazing type of gameplay, but it's always been the type of gameplay that I've been interested in.
It's dangerous, yes. But Kaiser, Percival, and I, we've trained for this. And you're not so green yourself. And the last thing I want right now is for the UC to stick us with some gung-ho jarhead who's gonna put us and the mission at risk. Captain, you're the reason we're all here right now. You're the person I think can help us finish it. Will you join us on this? Exactly what I was hoping to hear. Now, the UC has a small operating base on Londinion's outskirts. We're cleared for access, but we'll need to check in with the base commander, Sarah Hatoum, when we touch down. I'm gonna help Percival and Kaiser prep, but once that's done, we'll rendezvous with you there. But you need to know, Londinion, it belongs to the Terrormorphs. They'll have anti-xeno gear for us at the base, but I'd make sure you've got your favorite arms on hand.
Okay, so we did get an optional here to talk to Lieutenant Azevedo. And you definitely do want to talk to him.
Oh, this goddamn planet. You romanticize a place when you're away from it for long enough, but I forgot what a dust-crusted pit Mars can be. Now you, what do you need? You project personnel? Supplies are for project personnel only. Oh, that's you then. I was informed we might be working together. Don't much care for Vanguard. But sounds like you two really got into the thick of it back in New Atlantis. My sister's kids live in the city, so, thank you for what you did there.
We are on the UC Vanguard questline. So we're getting somewhat close to the end of it. I don't think we're going to be able to, we will not be able to finish it to, this week, but we will certainly finish it at the beginning of next week's live stream. But we're going to have some really good action on this mission here coming up.
Yeah, they both came through okay. One science division, other's an artist. Effectively useless human beings that would have had no reason to be anywhere near the fighting. Still, would hate to see anything happen to them. Now, what was it you needed? Everything up to spec.
Okay, so we can just quickly go through our weapons here and get rid of certain things that we don't need. Then we're going to go back to buy and look and see what he has here. So we do have an amped up Orion. We do have also Reckless Bombardment, which is your grenade launcher heavy. It uses 40mm XPL grenades, which this one can be kind of nice to have. I am looking for other options here, and Vampire's Gift is your first venture into the Kadamo rifle and what it can do. It's got a really high fire rate and lower damage because of it, but the Kadamo is able to dish out quite a bit of damage with that very high fire rate that it has. You need to control it because it does have a heck of a recoil. So it doesn't look like there's anything here in particular. Okay, so we do have our first advanced spacesuit that we can purchase. Remember I talked about the various tiers of it as well, of your armors. So you have calibrated, refined, advanced, and superior. So you are capable of finding advanced at our level. It's just very rare, or they are specifically placed. And in this case, it is specifically placed here. So you can see it's a little bit better, but it doesn't have any of the perks that go along with the Mantis armor that we're still wearing. So the shock armor is going to be a little bit better in all stats than what we have for the most part. But we don't have a shock helmet here. Oh, we do have the Urban Warspace helmet, which again is slightly better in pure stats, but again doesn't have any of the perks that our legendary has. Actually, did want to look at the numbers here. So the UC armored fatigues are the same as the first soldier outfit when it comes to the raw numbers. We both have 5% reload speed on it. This would be slightly... We both have 5% reload speed. The armored fatigues have slightly higher mass, though. So we'll keep what we have with the first soldier outfit. I think that'll be it. So there's nothing really that we want to pick up in particular from him. But you always want to go there and look, because again, that stuff is... except for the specific items that are pegged to him, it's randomly generated. So you might come up with better stuff than what you have. The Vampire's Gift is the first Kadama that you see. But yeah, those are standard stats for Kadama. There are a lot of mods on the Vampire's Gift which up those stats to be better than just an out-of-the-box version of it. But for the most part, it's not something I'm going to focus on this playthrough. I tend to go more semi-automatic versions of stuff.
This world is off limits. You were advised to jump to safe harbor immediately. Let me check my logs. All right, you can proceed. We'll let them know you're on your way down.
Okay, so once you talk to the ship, now you can head down to the planet itself and head to the forward operating base. And well, good luck on your playthrough, CK. It's been a lot of fun for me, but then again, I really enjoyed Skyrim when I played it and that sort of stuff. I love the completionist type of playthrough that I do in my personal playthrough. And we're actually going to go back into our ship here. Forgot. We want to bring a companion with us.
Yes.
And we'll just take Sarah with us.
Ron Hope was a real piece of work, wasn't he? Despicable is too kind a word. He held innocent people with little regard, treating their lives like numbers on a balance sheet. It's an absolute disgrace. I'm relieved to hear you say that. Letting him off the hook would have been a terrible injustice. Had you taken the money, this would have been a very different conversation. I'm proud of you. It took a lot of integrity to say no to that offer. No, it certainly isn't. Especially when it comes at the expense of human lives. Well, I think I've lectured you enough. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me. There's something I need to talk to you about.
And looks like we might have to have a couple of conversations here.
Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about the artifact you found on Betrayal. When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your hands for the first time, how did you feel? No, I don't think you understand. I know about the visions, the light, and the music. How did you feel inside? What were your thoughts? That's an interesting reaction. But I suppose it shouldn't surprise me. When dealing with the artifacts, common sense tends to go right out the window. True. But hey, how else would you describe it? The artifacts are so different, so alien. And I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. Quite the mystery. Agreed.
Unfortunately, there's no way that I know of to reply. And believe me, I've been trying to gather data on the damn things for years. Frustrating? No. Bewildering? Yes. It would be... oh, well, an explorer's dream to solve a mystery like this. I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk, and for keeping an open mind. And I also wanted to say, well, I'm pleased we're on this journey together. It's the best decision I've made in quite a long time.
Okay, so we're going to bring her along with
Glad you're
us.
back. Let's get moving.
The more people you have on this mission, the better off things are going to be.
It's Londinion. I've heard the stories, but I've never seen it with my own eyes.
I forgot to pick up ammo for the drumbeat.
You! Inside the barriers! Double time! You with the xeno unit? You're heading to command. Far end of the compound.
Okay, so you do have some options here to go through some weapon cases here and pick up some ammo. You do have crafting benches around here as well. But we're going to head in here, and again, we're going to have some options here with picking up some additional stuff. These are just deep mining gear, so I don't really need it. There are some packs and some other weapons around here. There are some other space helmets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the interior ring. So could be 4 and 1. And that will work. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is going to have to be 4 and 4. Okay, so then that would leave 3 and 1. And that's not what we have anywhere. That one doesn't work. So this one's not going to work at all. Okay, so that would leave 1 and 3. And that's what it looks like here. So that works. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's only 1, 3 left, so it's going to have to be 4 and 2. Okay, so there. I don't think this one fits. Oh, it does. Whoops. Yes. Whoops. Okay. So this one and this one. Then this one, and this one. And then this, and this. Okay. Yeah, the lockpicking is interesting. You kind of have to work it a specific way. You definitely want to work it from the inside out. Okay, so I'm definitely overloaded here.
I pride myself on knowing everyone on this world, and I don't know you. You're with the collection team then, I presume. Either that, or you're one deeply unlucky trespasser. Vanguard, eh? Brief said you were an eclectic group. You must have really shined out on the fringe to get assigned a task like this. Ah, then this must be the rest of your outfit. Commander Hatum, No need for introductions, Major Sanon. Dr. Walker, your reputations precede you. As does the urgency of your mission, so I'll get to it. Now, Londinion is one of the most dangerous places in the Milky Way. It's with good reason my soldiers and I do everything we can to avoid entering the city. Terrormorphs are omnipresent, and the structural damage left behind when Major Sanon's father bombed its spaceport has turned large swathes of the metropolis into a decaying labyrinth. As such, we'll be providing you all with gear, information, and uploading municipal unlock codes to your robot. Every tool you could need to succeed out there. Except one. Once you're on the other side of those barriers, you will be on your own. If you get into trouble, my people will not be coming. Do we understand each other? Precisely. I'll leave you to your preparations then. You can find your equipment in our armory, base of the tower just outside. Now, once you're outside the base, it's my personal suggestion you make a beeline to the nearby Aceles plant. It contains one of our field caches. Though I can't guarantee it won't contain anything else. I hope you all find what you're looking for out there. Robot, you're coming with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Commander. Percival, you all set to hook into their comms tower?
Should only take a few minutes. Let's get this done and get the hell out of here.
Percival will be scanning the city for our samples from here. When he finds one, he'll transmit the coordinates to us out in the field. All right. Head over to the armory and gear up. Once you're done, we'll meet by the entrance to the city.
Okay, so we are definitely going to take the optional collect your gear thing here, but first, let me see if we're still within range of our ship. Looks like we are, so I'm going to store these other things here that I don't need. Okay, you are going to run out of carry capacity here. There's just no other way around it. It is what's going to happen. But keeping your, getting as empty as you possibly can here is going to be best. Now, here's the armory. And the armory has some very specific things that you want to look at. First is good. We got more 11mm caseless. So I did get more rounds for the drumbeat. That's not nearly enough, though. I forgot to fill up on those. You do want to take all the med packs that are in here. There's a helmet display. This isn't really necessary. Down into here, the frag mines aren't necessarily going to be useful. The boosted AA-99, not really again, but again, it comes with all this 11mm caseless sitting around. This is what's important. The 3 pieces of legendary armor here all come with set perks. These are always the same. So it's not like the Mantis gear where you need to reload before you come in here, or save before you come in here, or anything like that. Just come in here and pick these things up. Now you can see that these all have some very specific perks. So the first is sturdy. You're going to take minus 15% melee damage. That's what Terrormorphs do, is melee damage to you for the most part. Then you have armor plated, which is again minus 10% damage from physical energy and EM damage. One of the attacks that the Terrormorphs do is energy based. So that's going to help you out on that. Beast Hunter is minus 15% damage from aliens, which is what Terrormorphs are. It's got a plus 10% damage to scanned targets. That applies to targets that you've killed enough of them that you have them 100% scanned. So you're going to be getting 10% damage to them after a bit of being in here. And then Incendiary is a great bonus to have. It's basically free damage over time. And then the spacesuit is again minus 15% damage from aliens again. It's got Automedic, which it will automatically use a med pack when your health is below 25% and you get hit. It can only use it once every minute, but still, it's a way to do it if you fall behind on keeping track of your health. And then Sentinel is great, because if you don't move, if you stand there in front of a Terrormorph and you just tank the attacks, there's a 75% chance to reduce their damage or cut it in half. So you don't want to run away from Terrormorphs. You want, with this armor, you want to stand in place and tank their attacks if they've decided to focus on you. So this stuff is all incredibly useful, and you are going to change out of it from your Mantis gear for this mission here. You're going to lose a little bit in the stats, but not all that much, honestly. But the perks are exactly what you need for this mission.
Give him one for me, all right?
Now here you have a breach, which is a shotgun, which is good, which is nice. You do have a weapon rack here. Is there a weapon in here? There is. It looks like a breacher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the inner ring. So that's going to be a 4 and 3. Might be this way. No, doesn't look like this one works. That one there does, and then we have 1, 2, 3 all on the same side, which is here. Okay, and then the middle ring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again, so that's either 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. And if it's 3 and 3, it's got to be these two. So then this one... Actually, that is what it is. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to have to be 4 and 2. It's not that one. Okay, so there, and then we would be left with... Looks like this. Yes. So here, here... Then here and here. Here and here.
Haven't seen a lock picked that easily.
Okay, so looks like we got fairly lucky with our weapons in here. So we'll take a look at these. So we pick up an explosive side star, which is actually really nice. Randomly switches to explosive rounds. randomly applies a bleed effect. So this is actually really nice. Any damage over time stuff is incredibly useful. And then we picked up the pacifier here, so not the breacher, so the pacifier instead. Okay, and again, randomly does a bleed effect there. Okay, and then that's all we're gonna have, I think. I don't think there's anything left in the lockers. There's not. Okay, so we're going to, again, stand in place when we're dealing with the enemies that are out here. Taking a look at what we have the, let's see if maybe we want to change to the pacifier here. We don't have a lot of rounds for that. We don't have a lot of rounds for the breach either. So I think we're better off changing here. So 50, actually, the fire rate here. And this has incendiary damage as well. So yeah, we'll leave this on. So this can be our up-close weapon. So we need to make sure that's number 5. We're going to use the drum beat for as long as we can until we end up running out of ammo.
Restore power to most facilities in the city. Systems should shut themselves back down automatically.
Duly noted, Commander.
Okay, so you're going to be getting frostbite throughout this. And, whoops. Frostbite is whenever you take health damage, you expend O2, and your melee attacks deal less damage. Not really too worried about them, worried about that. If you do heal this, which you certainly can, it's just going to come back. So what you need to be aware of is that you're going to run out of oxygen faster whenever you take damage, and you're not going to be able to melee things very well, but that's not really what I'm in here for.
All set on your gear? Are you ready to do this? Then let's get this show on the road. Kaiser? Percival, everything green on your ends?
I am ready. Personal comm should be routed through Kaiser now. You copy that?
Roger, loud and clear.
Perhaps too loud.
Oh, you're a riot robot.
Kaiser, kick it off.
Unlock code transmitted. You may open the gate when ready.
Alright. On our way into the city. Percival, where are we heading?
Running the first sweep. Got one. A Sealy's. Not far. Old shipping yard just past the processing plant. Gene samples are probably in one of the containers.
Okay, so before we head in there, let's see if we are still close enough to our ship to unload. And we are. Okay, so let's head in here. As Hudson from Aliens would say, we're on a bug hunt. And things are going to get quite interesting.
Gonna make you pay.
Okay, and this is why you bring everybody along with you. The more people you have dealing out damage, the better things are, because these enemies, like I say, they want to get up close and personal here, and you want to stand in here. See, your friends are going to be doing a whole lot of damage here. I'm trying to actually conserve ammo. By utilizing a different weapon. But you see how impressive the explosive damage is on this pistol that we picked up. So this is going to be a very useful weapon for us in here. It seems to be doing even more damage than the drum beat does. So we're going to keep this as our main weapon. We have a lot of ammo for it as well.
Your shipping yard's just beyond the processing plant. Cache with some goodies is towards the rear of the facility.
Okay, now you can search all of these animals here for crafting items.
Jackpot! Get down there and collect as many as you can.
And just like everywhere else, there are going to be a bunch of things that you can search throughout here. So keep your eye open when you're walking around for various different places. Here is one of their weapon caches. So you just go through here and pick everything up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be 4 and 1, but I doubt it. Yeah, that one doesn't work. This one doesn't look like it works either. No, so it's going to be 3 and 2. And it's not that one. Wow, it's not that one either. Okay, so that works, and then we need 2 aways from each other. I don't think these are going to work. Oh no, it did. Okay. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, could be 4 and 2. Okay, so that works. Then you need 2 that are fairly close, and it would be this one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be 4 and 1. If this one fits. And it doesn't. So that would be here. And then 2, it would have to be this one. And that's it. So there and there. Then here and here. Then here and here.
That last click is so satisfying, isn't it?
Okay. Right there is a cloaked Terrormorph. Okay, straight down at the end there. As soon as you aggro it, it's going to come toward you. There's also another one right there. This is the harder of the two. It's got 3 levels of armor on it. And I believe, actually, there might be another one down below. But what we're going to do is we're going to aggro this first one. Get as much damage as we can on the way in. And then it's going to trigger the others, and we can kind of hold down this doorway here as much as we can. See, it does that big one, big crit numbers every once in a while. That's what you're looking for with that explosive damage. Okay, so there's the first one down. And we're going to do the same thing here with this one. Might as well get our health back. Yes, and that's what's good about bringing all of your, bringing a companion with you, is because now you have 3 extra guns, and Kaiser is a huge tank. Okay, so we'll do a quick reload here. And that's all that's in this area. So the alien genetic material is the big thing that you get from them. If you ever get into an up-close and personal fight, like they are aggroed on you and they are just in your face trying to melee them, pop an alien genetic material. You'll get plus 500 damage resistance for 30 seconds. And 30 seconds is actually a long time when you're face to face with a Terrormorph. So keep that in mind. If one does aggro on you and you have nowhere else to go, then open up your inventory and pop one of those. Okay, so we got an advanced Grendel here. There's the Achilles gene sample that we need. But we got an advanced Grendel. Okay, so it's furious, which is really good. Each consecutive hit deals more damage. And it's advanced level, which means it has the highest stats out of all of them except superior. And this is a weapon that you keep in your inventory for crafting later so that you can add on the additional mods to really up its damage. So it is something that will give way to the Beowulf and things like that later on. But early in the game, that's a great weapon as long as you can mod it and bring it up. You can see the refined version, which is the level right below it, only does 9 physical damage, whereas this does 13. So this is a great weapon to have that we can mod, and we'll probably be getting into modding here fairly quickly. I think maybe next live stream we'll have some time after this questline is done to be able to start getting into that a little bit and to kind of explain how that works. So we got a refined drum beat here. So the refined drum beat does 90. It does have cornered, which can be situationally useful.
All Achilles samples collected.
All right. Now hand those over to Kaiser, and let's get out of here.
Samples secure.
Nice work. No. Earlier scan picked up a valid Terrormorph sample, but, well, it's in the spaceport. And the quick route there looks like it got blasted when the port did.
There are steam tunnels under the city, which will allow us to access the spaceport.
What do you... That's right. Kaiser, how did you know that?
I'm not sure.
Percival, you see any better option?
Not from where I'm standing.
Then we've got our answer.
Access unlocked. We may proceed.
And yeah, that's actually a very good observation about the Grendel, because I'll just equip it real quick. And now when I reload it, it reloads exactly like the P90 does. So that is exactly what it is a Space P90. It's not a great weapon fully automatic, but semi-automatic with armor-piercing rounds, it can get pretty good. Something that you should pick up there on about Kaiser is he doesn't know how he knew about these tunnels. That's a little bit ominous, in that it might be something that he's been programmed without his knowledge or been programmed by somebody else, and that's not a good thing for us when you think about it. So let's look and see if we're still close enough. We are not close enough, so we're going to be overloaded here fairly quickly.
Kaiser, this flora, this is Lazarus plant, isn't it?
Confirmed.
You know, no one even realized it was a living thing until someone got it under a microscope and saw it had cells. Can't be cultivated anywhere but Londinion. A real marvel.
Okay, so we're going to learn more about this as we go through this section here. And things start, we start learning more about what's happening. And things start getting a little bit surprising and shocking as we go here.
All these leeches. What's keeping you things warm?
Okay, so again, these are heat leeches. These are not targetable. They just want to take off. We do have an advanced space helmet here. So Beast Hunter's nice, but again, compared to the rest of the perks that are on the helmet we have, it's not going to be useful.
My God, look at it. A Lazarus in bloom. You know, we might be some of the only... What's happening?
There's a heat leech there.
Oh my God. The heat leeches are Terrormorphs.
But no, it can't be true. Heat leeches are everywhere. They live everywhere. That means Terrormorphs... Oh my God.
You just saw that, right? You would tell me if I was losing my mind. That heat leech became a Terrormorph. The pests that have snuck onto every planet are baby Terrormorphs. Heat leeches hide out in ships, sneak away after landing, and then, with time, they transform. We just found out how Terrormorphs move between planets. Pretty major is right. But if what we just saw, if that's possible, the Lazarus plant, it's clearly an accelerant for the Terrormorph, a heat leech transformation process. Make one into the other in an instant. But that means if anyone knew about this, they could trigger a Terrormorph spawning. You could sneak a leech into a city, or even multiple leeches, into a place like New Atlantis. Good God. The attack on New Atlantis, could someone have set that up? But first, you'd have to know the truth about all this.
Well, we're never gonna know if you don't catch that thing. Get after it.
We may proceed.
Go!
Okay, so that is a startling revelation. We've been seeing heat leeches everywhere, just wandering around. We've been killing a few of them and not killing others. Now, those things are actually baby Terrormorphs. That's not good. At all. Okay, now again, when it gets close, don't move. Stand in and take it. That's what the skill that you have on your armor, the Sentinel perk, reduces that damage by half 75% of the time. So just stand in there and take the hits. Don't try and run away.
Percival, Kaiser's got the cell data from the New Atlantis and Tau Ceti attacks, right?
Uploaded them myself.
Captain, let Kaiser take a look at that sample.
Beginning analysis. It is a match. This suggests with high certainty that the Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attacks on both planets.
There's no way a plant this rare, this fragile, just shows up here, New Atlantis, and Tau Ceti. The transformations on those worlds, they must have been triggered by human hands.
Yeah, without the Sentinel perk, what you really want to do is let your other companions engage the Terrormorph first, so that they grab the aggro. Your companions are all invincible companions, just like in Skyrim, they may go down, and then the aggro is going to shift, but you want them to drag the aggro first, and then you can follow that up afterwards. So,
Captain, do you understand what it is we just stumbled on here?
kiting the Terrormorph isn't really going to work that well because they're so fast. if you can gain high ground where they can't jump to, then they can only use a ranged attack against you. But yeah, for what we're going to be dealing with later, especially as the levels on those get higher, that was only level 10, you really just need to stand there and tank it if they switch aggro to you.
Exactly. Someone saw the Lazarus plant in action and used it to trigger the attacks. A bioweapon no one would recognize as one. Oh, that's a terrifying prospect. Sort of thing that'll keep you up at night. And the sort of thing whoever did this probably didn't expect us to uncover. Makes some sense, actually. Tau Ceti was likely their first test. Someplace remote where no one would question a few settlers going missing. Ensure the big show, the attack on New Atlantis, would be a success. And the timing of that one. It couldn't have been just luck that it happened right when we were asking the cabinet to do something about the Terrormorphs. These attacks, I think someone planned them to set all this in motion. They certainly were. But having this answer, well, it raises a couple big questions. Who could pull something like this off? And why?
Okay, so we could speculate here, but let's not yet.
Let's save the discussion for when you all aren't standing in the universe's closest equivalent to hell frozen over. If we're gonna do anything to prevent more Terrormorph attacks, human cause or otherwise, we need that final sample.
Roger that. Kaiser, get us into the spaceport?
The entrance is this way.
Okay, so as we go through here, there are going to be a few things that you can search. Not a whole lot, though. As you're working your way through this area. However, the entrance to the spaceport is right up here. There is... Oh, we can't open that. Right, yeah, we can't open that yet. You want to make sure before you go in here...
I am unable to provide sufficient power to the lock mechanism.
Anyone got ideas where we could get some extra juice?
Local power looks like it was controlled in the security office. Upper floor.
Captain and I can scout it out. Kaiser, see if you can't find another way to get it open.
Roger that. I have restored power to the office entrance. You may proceed.
And that's what's up here. So now you can see that I've become crippled. So now I'm going to be using quite a bit more O2 throughout all of this. And if I sprint, it's going to immediately use up my O2. So we should be able to do this one pretty quickly, because you're going to be left with a cliffhanger this week. I love cliffhangers, I know y'all don't. But it is what it is. And I think it's this one, it is. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 right next to each other. So it's going to have to be this. And this. Then this and that. So more ammo, some more meds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's not that one. It can be this one. Then we'd be left with 2 there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be 4 and 3. It's not that one. Not that one. Or that one. It's going to be that one, and yes, this one. So here, here, then here, and then.
Ah, Captain. I think I see it.
Reboot engaged. Running diagnostic. Diagnostic complete. Multiple systems unavailable. Warning. Priority safety concern detected. Exterior hatch power restored.
Back in business.
Warning. Emergency recorder message detected. Transcription process engaged. Playback initiated.
Admiral Sanon, we need to make the evacuation request.
That's my father he's addressing. He was here? Didn't think he'd have the guts to look those soldiers in the eye before blowing this place to pieces.
Admiral!
It just transformed. An invisible weapon. No planet will be safe. Colonel, the troops that closed off the sewers after my evaluation, they're all in this facility.
Other than our casualties, yes, sir.
Good. Get them into defensive positions around the spaceport. No one leaves. They'll send ships as soon as possible.
Thank God. None of us wanted to go down swarmed by those things.
That won't be your fate, Colonel. You have my word.
Transcription complete. Physical copy available.
An invisible weapon. He knew. He knew about the Lazarus plant. Grab that recording. We should talk.
Hey, so Ve Victus we knew was the one that bombed the port here.
I think you need to get rid of some of that gear.
But now we realize that he also knew about the Terrormorph transformations.
Hey, Victus. He destroyed this place. Killed these people to keep what he knew about the Lazarus planet, the Terrormorphs, and all this a secret. Didn't he? He saw the potential of the plant as a weapon and hid it away. He killed those people to keep them from sharing what they might have seen. Condemned this whole city to death. He's Yes. Exactly what we all thought he was. But if the plant was used to trigger the attacks, could Ve Victus have been involved in the massacre on New Atlantis?
He's alive. Ve Victus is still alive. Not only that, but you're telling me that the attack on New Atlantis was his responsibility, just like the attack on Londinion. Oh, that's unbelievable. This is just typical of UC bureaucracy. A cover-up of this magnitude could directly lead to war. What the hell is the matter with them?
Good point. Deal with one monster at a time. Let's go get that final sample.
Hey, so now we have the finale of the plot.
Guys, your sample, it moved. I'd be real careful out there if I were you.
That doesn't sound good. Eyes peeled.
Okay, and this is where we come to the end of today's live stream. Through these doors is the big bad. It's the thing that we've all been waiting for to conclude the encounter portions of the UC Vanguard questline. And the fact that we're doing this at night and that it's snowing is just awesome. But there is also something off stream that I want to go look at. Now that I'm here, I want to see if I forgot something when I was moving around at the very start in the armory. So off stream, I'm going to go check that out. But for now, be safe in knowing that the start of next week's live stream will get into the finale of the UC Vanguard questline here, and it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be really fun. So, again, as always, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.